friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video we'll be making the viral gajras that are so famous now. Materials I'm using is a 3mm crochet hook and a 4.5mm crochet hook. You need two different types of hooks in this project, but it's up to you that how much yarn is the size of your yarn. So you'll be using the size of the hook depending on the yarn size. Darning needle, scissors, and you also may need a glue, any kind of glue to stick the one piece. So the yarn I'm using is color red and green, but you can make them in any of the color you want to be. So now first we're gonna be working with the red yarn and the hook, 4.5mm hook. So we're gonna start making the magic ring. So to make a magic ring, first I'm gonna point up my hand and I'm gonna hold this yarn end on top of these two fingers, and I'm gonna secure it with them, and I'm going behind these two fingers, index finger and middle finger. I wrap this yarn around these two fingers once, and I'm gonna go to do this again. So I wrap it again. So I have a yarn end over here. I'm gonna stick it towards my palm and I'm gonna secure it from my thumb. So as you can see, flip your hand, you have two parallel lines on the front, and if you flip your hand again, you have a crisscross. So you're gonna face the side where it has the two parallel lines. You're gonna go, so this is the first loop, this is the back loop. I'm gonna call this the first loop, this is the back loop, and you're gonna go through the first loop and pick up the back loop and pull it through the first loop. So you have something that looks like this, and now you're gonna rotate your hook clockwise. So you've created a triangle over here, and now you're gonna yarn over the working yarn. So the working yarn is the yarn which is at the bottom of your thumb, and this yarn is also attached to the yarn ball. So you're gonna yarn over on it. To yarn over, I bring my hook behind over on top of my working yarn. Basically, I wrap the working yarn around my hook once, and I'm gonna pull through the loop on a hook which was already on our hook. Pull through. And so now you've created the magic ring, and to adjust the size of the loop on your hook, you're gonna pull this working yarn, but do not pull it too tight, just leave it that it can freely move on your hook. And for this ring, it's way too big, you're gonna pull this yarn tail, excess yarn, to make the ring a little bit smaller. So this is how we make the magic ring. And how I'm holding my material is I'm pointing up these three fingers, ring finger, middle finger, and the pinky. I'm going it, and I'm going behind my index finger, and I'm gonna secure this yarn which is coming from here with these two fingers, ring finger and pinky. And for this thing, the whole thing is our piece. This whole thing is our piece. We're gonna secure our piece, hold our piece while using our thumb and middle finger. And for the hook, I'm using it like how I'm writing, but you can also hold it like a knife, but I prefer the pencil gripping. So first we're gonna start making the 4 single crochets into this magic ring. So to make a single crochet, we insert our hook into the magic ring, directly into the magic ring, also cutting on to the yarn tail on top of my hook. And after inserting, I'm gonna do a yarn under. To do a yarn under, I go on top of my yarn, I place my hook on top of my working yarn, and I'm gonna pull through the ring, and make sure that your index finger is always pointed upright. So after pulling it, now you got 2 loops left on your hook. You're gonna yarn over on the working yarn, pull through all the 2 loops, both loops that are left on our hook. So this is the first single crochet. We're gonna make it 3 more times. Insert our hook into the ring, also cutting onto the yarn tail, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now you got 2 loops left on our hook. We're gonna yarn over, pull through both loops that are left on our hook. So now let's make it again. Insert my hook into the ring, yarn under. To do a yarn under, place my hook on top of the working yarn, and I'm gonna pull through the ring. Now I got 2 loops left on my hook. I'm gonna yarn over the working yarn, pull through both loops that are on my hook. So now I have a total of 3, and if you forgot how many stitches you've made, so you can just easily look at your piece from above. So you can see there are V's over here, these V's. So now if you can see, this is a chain, don't count it. So now you can see there are 3 V's, 1, 2, 3. So you have 3 V's. Now you have 1 more single crochet to go, and if you think that you've made 1 extra single crochet, so you can easily unravel it. To unravel, I place my hook out and I'm gonna gently pull the working yarn, and this will unravel a stitch, and this is the same in every crocheting stitch. Unraveling is the same, you just gently pull the working yarn. And now let's place our last one. So insert my hook into the ring, yarn under, pull up a loop. Now I got 2 loops left on our hook, yarn over, pull through both loops that are on my hook. So now I've made 4 single crochet, and now I'm gonna close up this gap in the middle. So to close it, I'm gonna gently pull this yarn tail. Do not pull it, close it so tight. We need a gap, this much bigger gap in the middle. I'm gonna tell you later. So for this, you need to leave a little gap. After you leave a little gap, so now you're gonna slip stitch the first stitch. The first stitch is this stitch. You can see there is a chain over here. This was the chain, and then you can see a V. You can just see a V. This is a loop, and below the loop it's a V. You're gonna go through the V. Go through it. It might be a little bit harder because this stitch is the first stitch and it's tight. So after inserting, you're gonna yarn over. I go behind, over, on top of the working yarn. I basically wrap the working yarn around my hook once, and I'm gonna pull through this stitch. So now you can see you have a loop on your left and a loop on your right. You're gonna use the loop on your left to pull through the loop on your right. So like this, you're gonna pull the loop on your left through the loop on your right. So this is the connecting stitch, and this is the slip stitch, and remember to tighten it. Tightening is very, very important step, or else you'll be mistaken it as an extra stitch. So this is the single crochet, and now we're actually working on to the petals over here. So to make the flower petals, I'm gonna chain 2. So to chain, yarn over the working yarn, pull through the loop on our hook. So this is our first chain. We've created a V. This is the first chain. First V is equals to the first chain. So let's do it again. Yarn over the working yarn, pull through the loop on our hook. So this is our second chain, and now we're gonna do the actual work that we need to do. So the work is that we're gonna go through the stitches. So these are the stitches. We're gonna go through the stitches. So to go through the stitches, we yarn over the working yarn, insert my hook into the stitch, which is just after these 2 V's over here. This V, we're gonna go through it, and then after going through, I'm gonna yarn over the working yarn, pull through the stitch, and pull up a really big loop equals to this chain 2. So the chain 2 that we did in the beginning was to give height to this loop. So now you can see there you have 3 loops on our hook. You're gonna yarn over again, pull through just the first 2 loops at a time, and this stitch is called the incomplete double crochets, and this is so puffy stitch, so you can also call it the puffy stitch. So now we're gonna place 4 more incomplete double crochets into the exact same stitch. It means that we have 5 double crochets, incomplete double crochets into one petal. So now let's make it again. Yarn over, insert my hook into the exact same stitch where you placed the stitch just now, exact same, and then again yarn over, pull up a loop, and then pull up a really big loop equals to chain 2. So now you got 4 loops on our hook. You're gonna pull through just the first 2 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through just the first 2 loops. So now let's do it again. this is our second one. So yarn over, insert my hook into the same stitch. You can also see it's kind of hole over here. It is squashed up because we placed 2 stitches in the same stitch. So now let's make it again. Yarn over, insert my hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop and pull up a really big loop. Now we got so many loops on our hook, so you can see you have 3 loops on your right and 2 loops on your left. You need to separate them. You should be having 3 loops on your right and 2 loops on your left. You always having 2 loops on your left and so many loops on your right. So you're gonna yarn over, pull through just these first 2 loops that are on your left. So now I've played the third one. Now let's move on to the fourth. Yarn over, insert my hook into the same stitch, then yarn over, pull up a loop and pull up a really big loop. And now you have so many loops on your right and just 2 loops on your left. You're gonna yarn over, pull through the 2 loops that are on your left. So now I've placed fourth one. Now let's move on to the fifth. Yarn over, insert my hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop and pull up a really big loop and separate the loops. Leave 2 loops for the left side and so many loops for the right side. So yarn over, pull through the 2 loops that are on your left. So now we've made 5 incomplete double crochets in a petal, and now we are to complete the petal. So after you've made 5 incomplete double crochet, you might have 6 loops on your hook. Make sure that you have 6 loops on your hook, not more than 6 or less than 6, only 6. So after having 6 loops, you're gonna yarn over the working yarn and pull through all of these 6 loops on your hook. Make sure that you're pulling it through all of the loops, do not miss any loop. After you're pulling it through, we're gonna chain 3. So to chain, yarn over, pull through the loop on our hook, yarn over, pull through the loop on our hook, yarn over, pull through the loop on our hook. So after chaining 3, I'm gonna slip stitch to the exact same stitch where all the stitches are coming from. Like we placed 5 incomplete double crochet, we're gonna slip stitch into the same stitch that we make our 5 incomplete double crochet. So to slip stitch, I insert my hook into the same stitch. It's also a hole over here. It's squashed up due to these stitches before. After inserting, I'm gonna yarn over, pull through the loop, the stitch, and now we got 2 loops on our hook, a loop on left, a loop on right. I'm gonna pull this loop through this loop like this, and I'm gonna tighten it. So, and for this, you can just face the back side and push the petal to the front from the back, or you can use the back side of your hook to push it out like this. So it kind of have a shade of a puffy petal. So now let's make it again. So to make the next petal, we're gonna chain 2 as we did in the beginning. Yarn over, pull through the loop on our hook, yarn over, pull through the loop on our hook. This is a chain 2, and now we're gonna make more 5 incomplete double crochet as we did before. So yarn over, insert my hook into the next stitch, which is the V over here. This V is the next stitch. I'm gonna go insert it through, and then now I'm gonna yarn over. To do yarn over on the working yarn, pull through the stitch and pull up a really big loop. So now we're gonna yarn over, pull through only just the first 2 loops at a time. This is our first incomplete double crochet. Now let's make our second one. Yarn over, insert my hook into the same stitch, yarn over in the working yarn, pull through the loop on your hook and pull up a really big loop. So now you're gonna just pull through first 2 loops that are on your left and continue yarn over, insert my hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull up a big loop and pull through the 2 loops that are on your left. So now let's move on to the fourth one. Just pull through the loops that are on your left. So now this is a fifth one. Yarn over, insert my hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop and pull up a really big loop. Now we got 2 loops left on our hook. We're gonna yarn over, pull through. So this is how we made the 5 incomplete double crochet. Now I'm gonna yarn over, pull through all the 6 loops that are left on our hook. So pull through, and after pulling it through, I'm gonna chain 3. After chaining 3, I'm gonna slip stitch to the exact same stitch where all the second petal stitches are coming from. So going to the same stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch, and use this loop to pull through this loop like this and tighten it. This is called a slip stitch, and push the petal towards the front from the back. And now this is the same for the petal. You're just gonna chain 2, yarn over, and place 5 incomplete double crochets into the next stitch, and make sure that you're just pulling it through only the first 2 loops at a time that are on your left. This is the way to make incomplete double crochets, and I've made a tutorial on them, but this tutorial is a bit advanced from the before that I made it, but you can really make it. You've reached so far, so no worries. And now let's finish it off. Yarn over, pull through all the 6 loops and chain 3, slip stitch to the first stitch and tighten it and push the work out, the petal out. So now you're gonna continue making 2 more petals over here. I have 2 stitches left, and I have a total of 5 petals in 1 flower. So I'm gonna make 2 more, and I'm gonna meet you back when I'm done. So now I've done my very last petal, and after making the 5 incomplete double crochet, I yarn over, pull through all the 6 loops, and I chain 3 as normal. And now I'm gonna slip stitch to the stitch, the last stitch. This is stitch where we place all of the 5 incomplete double crochets. I'm gonna slip stitch into it, so like this, a slip stitch, and tighten the slip stitch and push the petal from the back to the front. So now we are done with the flower, and I'm gonna fasten off. To do a fasten off, we chain 1, we pull up a big loop over this, not too big, just this big, it's normal size, and cut the loop from the top part and pull out the working yarn, tie this, push the petals more to have a cleaner thing from the front side. So now we are done with the flower, and now for these ends I'm gonna be making a knot in them. So to make a knot, I do like this. I make a knot like this, and I'm gonna double knot it to make it more secure. Just a normal knot like how everyone make it. And now after double knotting it, making it secure, I'm gonna cut these excess yarns over from here like this. And now we are finally done with our flower. So you have done the first flower, and you need to make 17 more of them to have a total of 18 flowers. You may have a number of 18 flowers, and you go ahead and make more of them. And if you forgot how to make them, you can also rewatch the first part where I demonstrated really slowly. So now I'm gonna finish off making 17 more flowers. So now I've done making these 18 flowers, and if you also made them, so congratulations and a great job to you. Now I'm gonna be working with my green yarn. So this yarn, the green yarn is used to make the thread for the gajras. So this thread is for the flowers, and this is for the gajras. And for the green yarn work, I'm using 3mm hook. So I'm gonna start by chaining. To chain, first we make a slip knot. So to make a slip knot, I point on my 2 fingers of the left hand, and I'm gonna grab onto the yarn and twist my 2 fingers. So now I have a loop over here. I'm gonna slide my thumb into this loop, and I'm gonna hold on to this end over here, but do not hold it completely, and drop off the loop which is on these 2 fingers and pull everything. There are so many ways of making the slip knot, but this way is easier and normal way that I make. So pull the yarn tail to adjust the size of the loop, and yeah. So now let's move on to chaining. The chain is the thread, the only chain. We're just gonna chain, and this chain will be the thread of the gajras. So we will have a total of 120 chains. So yarn over on the working yarn to chain yarn over on the working yarn, pull through the loop on our hook. So this is our first V. It means that this is our second chain, yarn over, first chain, pull through the loop on our hook, yarn over the working yarn, pull through, and now I'm gonna repeat this until I have a total of 120 chains. So now I've made a total of 120 chains, and how I count them, I just count the number of the V's from the starting the slip knot. I count the number of the V's from here till the loop. So now I have 120, and now I'm gonna chain one more extra, but this stitch doesn't count as the number of your chain. And after chaining one, I'm gonna pull a big loop and cut the loop over here from here, pull out the working yarn and tie this yarn. So now I have 120 chains, and now this part is the assembling part. This is the main part. So now you just need to thread one of the tail of your piece through the darning needle of the chain, one of them, any of them, and now we're gonna slide these flowers, all of the flowers through this chain. And how to do it, I'm gonna go in the middle. See, that's why we leave a little space in the middle so our darning needle can easily slide into it. So I'm gonna facing the back side of my flower, and I'm going into this little hole in the middle, and I'm pulling it completely through the chain like this, leaving this end, and do the same for the second flower. Go through the middle part of the flower and pull it through completely. And now you're gonna do the same things for your more of the flowers. I'm gonna do this completely. So I'm gonna be going into the middle hole of the flower facing the back side and pull the flower through this chain. And now I'm gonna do it a little bit quicker. So like this. So now I'm done threading all these flowers through this chain, and you can just adjust these flowers as your personal preference. And I'm just gonna tie a bow over here, like on the hand. You just need to tie a bow or a knot. So like this, and bow, tie it like this. So this is, we've made the gajras, and now we're gonna working on to the bird piece over here, the little birds over here. These are the birds, small little birds over here. We're gonna working on them, and these are so easy. If you can make these flowers, you can make the whole piece, no worries. And for the birds, for the leaves of the birds, like these are the leaves for the birds, I'm gonna be using the green yarn. And for the green one, for this time I'm using 4.5mm hook. So now we're gonna start making a magic ring. So everyone knows how to make the magic ring. I've told it before. So magic ring is the same that how we made it before, but now after making the magic ring, you're gonna chain 3. So while making the magic ring, you have 1 chain, and now you need to chain 2 more. So you have a total of 3 chains, and now we're gonna place double crochet. This stitch is new stitch, so make sure that you see the whole thing that I'm making it now, because this is the new stitch. It might be a little bit confusing, and it's difficult. It's a little bit harder from the single crochet. So don't worry, I'm gonna go through real story that you can follow it. So to do a double crochet, first I'm gonna yarn over the working yarn. I'm gonna insert my hook into the ring while also cutting onto the yarn tail, and then after I'm gonna yarn over on the working yarn again, pull it through the ring. And now I've got 3 loops on a hook. I'm gonna yarn over, pull through just the first 2 loops at a time. And now I got 2 loops on my hook. I'm gonna yarn over, pull through both loops on my hook. So now after making this, I'm gonna chain 2, 3 again. So chain 3 again, and after chaining I'm gonna slip stitch into the ring, into the magic ring. I'm gonna slip stitch, I'm gonna insert my hook into the ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through the ring, and now I'm gonna pull through this loop to pull this loop like this and tighten it, and then repeat what we done over here. Chain 3 again, place double crochet to double crochet, yarn over, insert my hook into the ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both first 2 loops, and yarn over, pull to the left of the 2 loops, and then again chain 3, slip stitch to the into the magic ring, and then chain 3 again, place a double crochet. Now I'm gonna repeat this for one more time over here. So now I've made my last slip stitch, and after slip stitching I'm gonna fasten off. To do a fasten off, I chain 1 and pull up a bigger loop like this over this, and cut it from here. And for this gap in the middle, I'm just gonna pull the yarn tail which was before this yarn tail. I'm gonna pull it through just like this tightly, and then now you have something that looks like this. And for these ends, 2 ends over here, I'm gonna tie a knot in them. Maybe I double knot them and cut them like how we did for the first. So like this, and this is the thing, and you need to make 2 appliques of it because we have 2 ends on the flower thread. And then now we're gonna be making these small little birds over here. Will be sitting in the between these leaves that we made just now. So to make them, I'm gonna grab onto my red yarn, and I'm gonna start by making a slip knot. To make a slip knot, I'm gonna grab my yarn and these 2 fingers, twist them, and I'm gonna insert my thumb into it and hold this yarn and drop off the loop, pull everything, and adjust the size of the loop by pulling the yarn end. So this is how we make the slip knot. And now we're just gonna chain 1. To chain, remember we yarn over in the working yarn. This is the working yarn. Remember, you should be working onto the working yarn. Do not mistakenly wear on the yarn tail. So chain 1, and then you're gonna place 4 incomplete double crochets into the same stitch. So yarn over, insert my hook into the stitch that you made just now, the chain, and everyone knows how to make the incomplete double crochets. It might be a little bit harder, but it's okay. You can go through it. And after inserting yarn over, pull up a loop and pull up a big loop, not that much big, but as bigger as the chain 1, and yarn over, pull through just the first 2 loops. These first 2 loops, just pull through them like that. It might be a little bit tighter because this is the first stitch, very first stitch, like this. Pull through the first one, and then need to pull through the second one as well as the first one. So now I finally pull through, and then I'm gonna place 3 more incomplete double crochets into the same stitch, and everyone knows how to place them. After making 4 incomplete double crochets, you have a total of 5 loops on your hook. You're gonna yarn over in the working yarn, pull through all the 5 loops that are left on your hook like this, and then after it, chain 3, slip stitch to the same stitch where all the double crochets are coming from incomplete, and then after chain 1, pull up a bigger loop and fasten off over here. for these two ends, I'm just gonna tie a knot in them and cut them. Tie a knot to make it more secure, like this, and cut it from here. And you also need to make 2 appliques of it. So now I'm gonna take the one end over here, and for this end you can see there's a tail over here, a separate tail, not the chain, a separate tail. You're gonna thread this tail through the darning needle like this, and you're gonna grab onto these bird leaves that you made, and now you're gonna sew this thing to this thing. So to do, I'm gonna go through the middle of it. I'm facing the back side and I'm going through the middle, and I'm not going back into the middle piece, I'm going into the any of the loop from here, maybe this one, and now I'm gonna weave in. So to weave, I'm gonna go through any of the random loops from the back, but make sure that your darning needle is not visible from the front. Just pick up the back loops over here, pull through and pull the tighter loop and cut them, excess tail. And so now you've sewed the bird leaf, and now I'm gonna paste this bird over here like this. You're gonna paste it with the glue, or if you know how to sew them, because they are so little, they're not gonna come out. You can just paste them with the glue. Just paste them with the glue, and like this. And do the same thing for the other piece that you've made. And then now I'm just finally done making my gajras. And if you like my videos, a great thumbs up for them. And if you want to watch more of my videos, you go to my channel and subscribe it. So bye, this is the end of our video, and wait till tomorrow for the next tutorial.